Hey guys, real quick before the video starts, I just want to ask everybody watching to subscribe, and if you know anyone who would like the videos, please share because it really helps me grow. Thanks a lot guys, enjoy. How's it going guys? So recently I've been playing a ton of Need for Speed Heat. I just beat it in the last video, and while playing the game I noticed how important RP is. It makes up half the game, and when you're racing at night, that's all you're going for. Daytime is for the cash, nighttime is for the RP. As I was playing through, I kind of figured out a couple tricks and stuff to get high RP and high heat levels so you can do the high heat races, unlock cars, level up to level 50, grind it out, and also get those ultimate plus parts so you can max out your cars. So here's 5 areas and tips to easily lose the cops and gain a ton of RP. So starting off at number 1, this does not come to a surprise to anybody, the containers. Oh my gosh, I love the containers. They're so much fun. There's a ton of challenges and stuff over there, but it's just so easy to lose the cops. This is by far the easiest place to do it. You can go from heat level 1 to heat level 5 in a matter of minutes. So with all the challenges and stuff, you can get a lot of RP and push that multiplier up to heat 5 so you can get the most out of your night. Another thing I love doing is I love ramming the cops into the side of the containers and crashing the cops, because the more heat you have, the more RP that gets you. And if you're on critical damage or a rhino's coming or something, or you're bombarded, just quick jump on top of one of the containers, and the cops are so stupid they won't know where you are. Just sit there for like 30 seconds, everybody's gone. Even if you have a helicopter, it's gonna have to go get fuel eventually. And the second that happens, there's a safe house like right there, and there's a gas station right down the street, so you're really set. You can just keep looping in there the whole time. But honestly, you'll never need a repair in the containers. The only time you might have to is if you crash into a container or maybe flip off a ramp weird. But trust me, there's so many nooks and crannies you can fit through, you're gonna be golden. The cops will never even touch you. The second spot on the list is the canals in downtown Palm City. These things are so clutch. Specifically the ramps, but the whole canals in general. So one strategy that I do, and you'll see in the clip, is there's a spot over by the marina, kind of by the yachts and stuff, where there's a ton of ramps. So you can just keep driving back and forth up and down the marina and keep jumping off the ramps. And the stupid AI, they'll 9 times out of 10 fall into the water. And if not, if you're not directly jumping over the canal, all the bridges and stuff that go over, if you get enough speed, you'll get a little bit of airtime. But when cops get that airtime, the second they land, it takes out so much of their health. And honestly, there's so many jumps that even if you make one and decide not to go on the next one, the cops will probably have enough speed that they'll keep going and not realize you've turned and just go straight into the water. I also love all the back alleys and stuff in the city because there's someone every single block, and if they BS you and a cop spawns right in front of you, you can just quick turn out of the street and you'll be fine. Most of the gas stations and safe houses are right around there, so you can loop there the whole night. Alright, for number 3, we have my personal favorite, Northeast Rockville. So I'll show you where it is on the map, but I love this spot. This spot is the definition of loops. If this game was Dead by Daylight, you'd be looping the killer here the whole time. I have the most fun at this area just because there's so much variety, and I just have so much fun doing it. There's a pretty big hill that has windy roads going up, and there's a lot of drift events over there because it's perfect for it. But at the bottom of the hill, you have a safe house on one side and a gas station on the other, so you're perfect. You can heal, and then if the cops crash, you can quick turn into the safe house and just dip. But the best part is at the top of the windy hills, there's a ramp, and every time you go off the ramp, you keep getting RP. The other night when I found out about the spot, I stayed there the whole time and ran about 10 loops and just destroyed so many cops, so many rhinos, was at heat level 5, and at the end of the night, I almost got 1,000,000 RP. Another nice thing is most cops are so slow, when you're just driving back up to get to the top of the hill, you can lose them really easily. And rhinos have a lot of trouble hitting you because they're such big heavy cars that they can't really go around those U-turns as well. So if one's coming, you're golden. Just keep looping up and down. One tip I would say is when you're going off the ramp though, try not to go too slow, and also don't go too fast, because if you flip up or flip down or something like that and you land weird, that'll take a ton of damage out of your car. And like I said earlier, you do have the gas station down there, but since you only have 3 repairs a night, you do have to be cautious. And also, this is a huge ramp, so it might intimidate some people, but I've made the jump like 3 times in a row on critical damage and I was fine. I took no damage from it. Just make sure you hit it head on and floor it and you'll be fine. Also, if one of the cops spawn on that dirt road right next to the ramp, that happened to me a couple times, legit just drive down the mountain and you're fine. They do so bad off-road. Okay, so for number 4, we have the conservatory area. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I call it the conservatory area. But pretty much it has a very similar layout to East Rockville, but you have the safe house at the top of the mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, you have a gas station on each side, which is very nice. What I do though is a lot of races end around there. I'll show you on the map. But if I'm damaged, I'll just quick go to a gas station, then book it up the mountain. Again, like the last one, it's very windy turns, so you can lose the cops most likely just driving normally up there. But if they screw you over with the spawns, there's a ton of little ramps all the way up, a lot of log ramps, and also just the whole hill itself. Like if you just cut across the road and just gas it straight down, the cops will most likely be destroyed just flipping over the hill. One other nice thing I found out after running that spot for a while is since there's 2 gas stations on each side, if you get to heat level 5 and they put a bunch of spike strips on one side, you can just drive down the other side and you're fine. Or you can go off road like I said, and that definitely helps too. That more destroys the cops, but the road you can definitely outrun them more, so it just is kind of what you're going for. But definitely destroying cops does get you more RP because it multiplies a destroyed cop car by the heat level that you are at the moment. Last up on the list, this isn't really an area but just kind of like an overall tip, but as you see in the clip, I was over in the container area and there's a speed trap and you can just go back and forth at like 100 miles an hour and you'll get RP every time you cross the speed trap. And when you do that, it ranks up your heat level really easily. And worst comes to worst, if cops spawn right there, you can just quick go into the containers because they're right next door and you're fine. But a couple times if races did end in the containers, I would just keep going back and forth through the speed traps or on those jumps on top of the containers and just keep grinding out that RP before the night was over because it really does help your multiplier the more you have. Something else kind of cool is if you're driving to the safe house and you see spray paint, flamingos, or billboards, please do them. Biggest thing is when you do all of them in the map, you get free cars, but for the sake of leveling up quick, every time you collect something, you're gaining RP. So if you're right on the edge of heat 5 and you just need a little bit, try and find a billboard or try and find a flamingo or something because it will normally push you over the top. Even something as simple as getting 3 stars on one of those jumps could honestly push you up a whole heat level depending on what heat you're already at. Last tip is really try and go for destroying those cop cars because if you hit a cop barely and you don't take any damage, they're most likely going to fly down a hill or ram head on into something, and it may seem counterintuitive for a long chase, but they hate it when someone else gets destroyed. And even though challenges and collectibles will get you a lot of RP, that is by far the best way to get RP without just looping them over and over and over again. And you can't destroy the helicopter, but they have to go refuel about every 30 seconds to a minute, so the second that happens, just dip to the safe house. Alright guys, so those are the strategies I use whenever I get on Need for Speed Heat and I want to grind out an Ultimate Plus part and I really just want to get it done quick. Or if I'm just looking to mess around and get some content, you know. Anyway, thanks for sticking until the end. Comment and let me know if that works for you or like some strategies that you use that I could try out. Stay tuned for more Need for Speed and all my other shenanigans. Peace!